Radio talk show hosts find out fast what is riling people up and why when their switchboards light up. And the big hot button issue that we're hearing from a lot of them is still those sermons by Barack Obama's pastor. So joining me now, we've got two of the nation's top radio hosts. Michael Smerconish spoke to Obama himself recently about Reverend Wright, and Ed Schultz broadcast from Fargo, North Dakota, and he's joining us as well. Welcome to you both. And Michael, let me start with you because I know you attended Obama's speech last week, and it's been over a week now. It's still a hot issue for your listeners. What kind of things are you hearing from them?
Well, Campbell, I walked out of that speech and the very next day went on my own program, and I labeled it stunning. I thought it was a tremendous set of remarks. I thought that it advanced the football relative to conversations that are long overdue about race. But that's a very tough sell with my audience based in Philadelphia. And continually, they asked what Hillary Clinton apparently said in Pittsburgh today, which is essentially, why didn't you get up out of that pew and walk out the door? I thought he answered that as best that he could have in the remarks. And then I pursued that matter further with him when I interviewed him a couple of days ago. Over time, the more that people watch the speech and not just the YouTube loop, I think the more votes and minds that he wins over.
Yeah, it takes some listening to. You really have to focus on it, is what you're saying. Ed, let me ask you, because Hillary took that shot at Obama today about Reverend Wright, as Michael just mentioned, and it didn't sit very well with your listeners, did it?
No, it didn't. And I think Democrats are getting pretty frustrated on our side of the dial with all of this dialogue. But as a talk show host, you got to talk about it. This story just keeps on giving to talk radio in America. This speech by Obama was given a week ago, thinking that he has put all this to rest, and now here it's regurgitated again by the competition. Hillary Clinton could have dodged that question and taken it to a higher ground. She knew exactly how the media was going to respond to this, and we'll be talking about this again for the next 48 hours. What is her agenda? It's to go to the low road, and I think people are getting turned off by it.
Michael, you are a conservative guy, and as you said, you were pretty impressed with the speech. But are you surprised, I guess, that your listeners are on a different page than you are, or seem to be?
Well, Campbell, I was there in person, and I read the transcript, and I've gone back and I've watched it entirely yet again. And I think that that's, not the norm. I think that most folks, they can't afford the investment of time that's required to go and watch the remarks in total. And consequently, they continue to see the loop. They continue to see those absolutely indefensible remarks from Reverend Wright, but without the benefit of the full explanation from the perspective of Barack Obama. So that's what he's up against, competing with a 10-second soundbite, and we do live in a soundbite mentality, in a soundbite world, versus a more lengthy explanation that I think is required. Frankly, I'm surprised at how many people over time are giving him the benefit of the doubt. I saw a CBS poll that said that 7 of 10 Americans are favorably impressed with what he had to say on the subject of race.
Let me ask you both this question. We're about a month away from the Pennsylvania primary. How is Obama, and this is something that's being talked about a lot on talk radio, on the blogs, how Obama is going to connect with sort of the non-latte drinkers is the line you often hear. What do you think, Ed?
Well, I think in the big context of this, Pennsylvania, obviously the next big showdown. Barack Obama is already cutting into that lead. His advertising is working in Pennsylvania. He's got a substantial lead in North Carolina. And no matter whether we want to talk on talk radio about the Reverend or what happened in Bosnia, the fact is this guy and his campaign have been able to laser focus on what the mission is, and that's to get the nomination. Hillary continues and her camp continues to bring up and regurgitate old talking points, to do anything they possibly can. They've moved the goalposts numerous times, as they have again. They're trying to sell the country now that if they don't count Michigan and Florida, there's no way the Democrats can win in November, which is absolute hogwash, and it talks the party down. What's the mission here? There is no model that the Clintons can parallel that will take them to the nomination. This has never been done before. And I think that Bill Richardson's endorsement is going to help a lot of other superdelegates come out and make the stand. Obama is out in front for a reason. He's staying on the high road, and over time, that's what people want.
Here's some other political developments we want to cover with our radio panel tonight. Another confession by New York's surprise and surprising new governor, David Paterson. He admits that he tried both marijuana and cocaine, and Detroit's one-time superstar mayor Kwame Kilpatrick pleads not guilty to charges of lying about an affair. Is this all more than we ever wanted to know? Joining us again, Michael Smerconish and Ed Schultz. And guys, let's start with Patterson. You know, Eliot Spitzer resigns as New York's governor. The new governor, David Patterson, admits to an affair first, and then last night to past drug use. Let's listen.
I tried it a couple of times, yes.
Okay, you couldn't really hear what he said, but he was asked about using marijuana and cocaine and saying that, yes, he had tried it a couple of times. I guess to both of you, my question is sort of, you know, what do your listeners think about all this? Is this what we want from our politicians? Are we wanting them to come clean in every way, shape, or form? Michael?
I think that if Patterson had made those statements in the heat of a campaign, running for governor in earnest, it would have been a lethal blow to his candidacy. But in the aftermath of Spitzer, people are so damn tired of all this business. It's like, oh, my God, it has to be really high on the appalling meter in order to be something that would cause him a political stumble. It's remarkable where we are in 2008 that a guy can admit to having done some cocaine, and people are like, okay, so that's what he did.
Ed, your listeners, too, sort of blasé about the whole thing?
Yeah, they are. They're sick of the hypocrisy. The people like Spitzer, who ran on a campaign and prosecuted the way he did, and basically live in a double life. You know, you can't break the law. There are times when you fall out of love with somebody and may fall in love with somebody else. I think the country and the public can understand those kinds of things. But when you have the shortcomings where you break the law and you show disregard for the law and you do favoritism one way or another, they don't have any time for that. And
but
I
with
think
that
really
in mind,
this is what...
Pause right there, Ed, because I want you to respond, make that point about this. Take a look at this video. This is Mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick. He's in court today, you know, over these racy text messages he sent to this woman he was allegedly having an affair with. And he says, forget it, I'm not stepping down. I mean, is that just what you're talking about? You know, is anyone shocked? Do your listeners feel that?
Well, I think his arrogance is going to catch up with him. In the arena of public opinion, he won't make it. And I don't care if he's African-American or Latino or a white guy with red hair. I think the American people are fed up with the lies. I think they want full disclosure. And I think we're in an age we want to know everything we possibly can find out about the candidates through this vetting process. I mean, it's pretty sad. When somebody's running for office right now, we actually have to ask them, do you think you can stay out of jail?
Okay, let's end on that note. All right, Ed
Hey,
Schultz.
Campbell.
Yeah, Michael, real quick. Go ahead.
The problem with Kilpatrick is that public money apparently changed hands to cover up his indiscretions. I don't think in 2008 having an affair, you know, makes you have to give up your office. But if $8.5 million of Detroit money got paid to keep that quiet, that's the issue.
An important point there. Michael Smerconish and Ed Schultz, thanks to both of you guys. Appreciate your time tonight.